and ultimate extermination. The war is here. It's an info war. The spirit of 1776 versus the mindset of 1984.
Hey, Brian, if you could do just one thing today to ensure your family's food security, what would it be?
That's easy, Bill. I'd head straight to SoupBeanSurvival.com.
SoupBeanSurvival.com?
I know, Bill, it sounds crazy, but this ancient secret has been around for over 8,000 years, and it truly is nature's super survival food.
Really, Brian? The number one survival food? Well, certainly the forgotten survival food.
Absolutely, Bill. The folks at SoupBeanSurvival.com scoured our planet to find the very best heirloom seeds, to truly find nature's super survival food.
Brian, these aren't grocery store beans, are they?
No way, Bill. You're not going to find these beans in any grocery store. These are the absolute highest quality beans in the world. Visit SoupBeanSurvival.com. That's SoupBeanSurvival.com for all the information you're going to need for nature's super survival food.
Lonesome highway east of Omaha, you can listen to the engines moaning out his one old song. You can think about the woman or the girl you knew the night before.
All right, I'm going to go to your phone calls.
But your thoughts were
I just want to really impress this upon everybody. When you tune into Bloomberg and you hear 5 economists in 35 minutes, that's how long I listened last night driving home, all read the exact same script and say, it's very reasonable. We're going to have a private financial system that runs Europe, a financial federal union. And yes, it's going to be private, and you'll pay your taxes to them, and they know how to manage things. It's very good. These governments have been bad, and it's the banks that engineered all this. It's the banks that put people in over the governments. And they're announcing they're basically going to take most of the money from the German people, because that's the most wealthy country there, to give to the banks. And they lie and say it's for the, quote, poor countries. And then you know it's going to lead to an even greater collapse a few years after, which they'll then stand up and say, now we're going to save you again. And they have this army of guys in suits on radio and TV sitting there saying, chief operating analyst at blah, blah says this. Oh, it's absolutely imperative that they create the new super union to be privately run as an economic union for part of global governance, an excellent system. No, let's cut to this person. And then they're saying global governance this, global governance that. I mean, that's all over the news today. And again, I see people attacking me on the internet saying I'm making this stuff up. I think a lot of them must be paid or something, but we're being financially taken over by scam artists, and it's only going to get worse. And Bernanke's saying, I'm not worried about the problem in Europe. We're not connected to that. And it turns out most of the bailout money went to foreign banks because it's foreign banks that own America through fraud. It's fraudulent. It's a scam. But to carry out the really big frauds, they get control of governments. They can get away with it. And the German court has ruled, even though it's against the law under EU rules, that they're going to basically put these private people in charge. In the Eurozone, banking fear feeds on itself. Oh, see, it's fear. And the bankers are like, if you're just reasonable and set up the new system and pay us the money, things are financially bad because there's fear that you're not going to pay the new bailout. No, they've engineered the collapse, and then, it's your fault for not paying us trillions more. And then people hear thousands of paid pundits parroting the same thing, literally repeating the same thing over and over again like an endless parade of parrots. You know, when you tune into the nightly news, it's the same story in the same order with the same sponsors on every network. It's a script, boys and girls. They admit the White House puts out talking points. And see, this is talking point free. This is teleprompter free. This is real. Here it is, Europe inching towards financial union. Sydney Morning Herald, they're not inching. The unresolved debt crisis is forcing change. Oh, yes, it's forcing change. More of the same, more power for the globalists. Here it is. UBS euro collapse could lead to martial law. In a similar vein to how Hank Paulson, we'll give you a document cam shot of this if we can. In a similar vein to how Hank Paulson threatened martial law on the streets of America if the bailout failed to pass, top banks like UBS are now warning of authoritarian or military government and civil war in a bid to frighten away member states from leaving the euro. It's a transparent ploy designed to create the pretext for empowering the EU to enforce a common economic policy across all member states, something that British Prime Minister David Cameron is now openly backing. In a UBS investment research release, the Swiss bank warns that should member states begin to desert the euro, participating collapse of the single currency, some form of authoritarian or military government or civil war would likely ensue. Oh, there's going to be an authoritarian government if you don't let the bankers establish an authoritarian government, because they've screwed things up so much. You've got to, again, live with the cancer, because cutting it out would kill you. But the cancer keeps growing. And then it's got the UBS investment research release from the top Swiss bank. Warning of civil war, economic collapse, total collapse of global system. That's the top Swiss bank, one of the most powerful in the world. And it's got all the incredible quotes about troops on the streets, martial law. How long folks, when they got rid of Glass-Steagall, the Rand Corporation and others said it was for this. See, this isn't some problem. This is all engineered. They've learned that if they just take part of your paycheck, part of your pension, and then say, okay, we're going to take part, but keep the rest safe. Next year, take part, keep the rest safe.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Try to shut up now. It's just, I'm marveling that we've been absolutely accurate about what the globalists would do because they said what they would do. But then it's amazing that we were so accurate, and it's amazing that they're getting away with it, and it's amazing to know what comes after this. I mean, these people, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of England, Bank of America, they all, Wells Fargo, all openly are the financiers of the carbon taxes, the one-child policies. I mean, these are brutal, nasty, anti-human control freaks. And they're criminals. I mean, these big banks have all been caught taking houses they never had a deed to that are 100% paid for, and the courts just give it to them. You don't believe me? Just type Bank of America took houses that were paid for they didn't own. You'll get CNN, and they go, is it reasonable they take houses they don't own? Well, maybe they need to, because, they're... I mean, that's the thing. These people aren't going to pop up like dictators from 1940s. They're not going to look like Fidel Castro, and you go, oh, there's the dictator. They just creep around their little briefcases and have all this, complex gibberish that once you've studied it is just that. Pure, unmitigated diarrhea of the mouth meant to confuse you. They're a bunch of finance oligarchs with an army of lawyers and high-tech PR campaigns to sit there and confuse everybody. And listen, it's real simple. These scam artists have bought off the politicians and created giant debts that they bought the world with and then handed us at the end of the day saying it was our debt and we now serve them as slaves. I don't owe them anything. I don't want to be domesticated by them. The feds are federalizing everything. They've announced they're going to put MRI power feet scanners in. Don't worry, you don't have to take your shoes off. Do you have any idea? In fact, I'll have an article out later today or tomorrow. I don't know. Watson's a workhorse, a true Trojan when it comes to busting his back. But so are the other writers. Do you understand they're not exempt from radiology rules? They just don't care and do it. And it's all on purpose. My God, those idiot TSA workers. I knew it would come out they were dying of cancer, and it turns out where they've had the scanners for close to 8 years, most of them are getting cancer, and they've proven it's from the scanners. Of course it is. You got 2 different types of microwave ovens you're basically living in 8 hours a day. I mean, what does that say about the elite? That they know full well that it's a death sentence to everybody that works in TSA, and they just do it. They know full well it's a death sentence to the troops that use DU. They just do it. They know full well, and they just... Good people have a blind spot to evil. And when it's big and bold and wild, we got a blind spot you can drive the Titanic through. And, man, I see these people. I see them getting away with it. And I'm just like, when is it? And you can't even hate the TSA goons that, want the job for money or a petty power trip. And they typecast and generally hire a certain